Hey guys, back again. Okay, I was struggling today because I didn't know what to talk about, so I thought I'd get the jar. Do you remember the jar? I found it, by the way. I kind of got it lost. Now, I'm contending with a lot of noise out the back. They're doing some work on it. So let me just pick one out. Let's see. Stop giving your power away. Oh my gosh, yes, I really wanted to talk about that. So that's on trend, that's on track of where we want to go, because I think after having talked about a lot about anger, it's like, and that's the trouble, when you're struggling with anger, you're actually giving your power away when you're doing that. I just want to take that out. Because if you're allowing someone else to dictate your emotional state, then you've given your power away to that person. And you think about the you're driving along and somebody cuts you up or drives a bit weird or whatever, and you get all angry and upset, and a lot of the time you kind of stay angry and upset. It doesn't just go away. So we are giving our power away to some guy or woman in a car that you've never met, you don't know, and you don't actually care about. And so in that sense, we can stop giving our power away, and we do that by owning what is happening inside of us and taking full responsibility. Your feeling, your responsibility. Your response, your responsibility. Responsibility. Your reaction, your responsibility. Now, we can point fingers all we like. And obviously it might be easier to feel the anger and then stop feeling the anger about someone you don't know. It's usually when people have hurt you, betrayed you, let you down. It's those kind of people that, that we know, that we love, that we care about, that we thought cared about us, that actually we give a lot of power to. So parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, friends, family, all of it. We tend to give our power away, and I'll be damned if I'm going to give my power away to anybody. And I think once you start to understand that actually doing the whole blamey gamey thing it doesn't work for you, and it leaves you actually undermining your ability to feel your own feelings because you want to blame somebody else. Now, I'm not saying that other people don't do wrong by us. Of course they do. They let us down, they betray us, they walk all over us at times. But you know what? Come back to us, come back to you, come back to me, come back to the center point, which is you. You are all of it, you're everything. And when we start to really know that and own it, see, in the beginning, when I was younger, obviously I didn't know that, and I didn't own it, and I was blaming, and I was, this is my story, and it's all because of A, B, C, and D. And then, you get older and more mature, and you realize, okay, this is not working for me. And there's some great questions that you can ask yourself. I wrote them down. And I just thought it'd be interesting to pose these questions. And this is just flowing at the moment because I didn't realize that's what we were going to talk about. But okay, this is a way of really challenging your own thoughts, thinking, beliefs. Okay, so let's ask these questions. Who benefits from you thinking this way about yourself? So if I have a negative thought, no one's here for me, no one loves me, no one respects me, I haven't got any friends, no matter what it is, challenge yourself. Who benefits from me thinking this way about myself? Who benefits? I'm not going to answer that. I'm just going to put it out there because I think questions help us dig deeper, so maybe this is a question you might have to ask yourself. Who benefits from me thinking this way about myself? Okay. Second question. Who would you be without this story about yourself? So, maybe you've got a little story. Nothing works out for me. No one's there for me. I lose all my friends. They always betray me. They always walk all over me. They always disrespect me. They don't really ever come towards me. It's always me doing the chasing. And so who would you be without this story about yourself? Now, that's a really challenging question because a lot of us are so tied, emotionally connected to our story of who I think I am, that actually, if I were to let this go, it actually might cause an identity crisis, a meltdown. Well, who am I without this story? I don't know who I am without this story. The poor me story. Who am I? I'm no one. So I'd rather be someone with a really shitty story that I have about myself than no one with no story about myself. And this is why I challenge people when they come in and I say, do you really want to get well? And do you know what it takes to be really well? It takes a little bit of because it's not easy. It can be challenging, and it takes a lot of courage and strength and commitment to the process, because you're not going to like what you feel. You're not going to like the way this feels, and we're all allergic to feeling our feelings. And this is why, we got it's too uncomfortable, unbearable. I don't want to go through that, even though you kind of want what's on the other side of it. If that makes sense? Okay, next question. Let's move on. When did you decide this was true? And I know for me, when I look back, it's like, oh, I can't do anything. That was my catch cry. I can't do that. I can't do that. It was a really, opted out statement. And I think I realized that a long time ago when I was very young. And I remember even as probably was about 8, 9, 10, 11, kind of that age. I don't remember. But I remember trying to do things at school. I wasn't very good at school. I hated school. And I never seemed to get the pass. I never seemed to cut the mustard. I never seemed to get the grade. And I remember thinking, oh, I can't do this. It's all too hard. And that was a statement that followed me around for a lot. And it wasn't until I wanted to go, my desire to go study and be a therapist or counsellor. And actually, I didn't really want to be a therapist. I actually just felt like I wanted to go study. I didn't really know what the outcome would be. I just wanted to go study. And I wanted to challenge myself. And then I had to change that story. And it was like, oh, I can't do this. To maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do this. And what would happen if I could? Because all these other buggers think they can do it. And I look at them and I think, well, maybe they're not as, as nice as me or what have you. And I judged them and thought, well, what's the difference? Well, they thought they could do it and I didn't. And so that was a story I told myself from very early on. When did you decide this was true? Very many years ago. I can't do this. And that's why I stayed for many years. And it was such a stumbling block, such an obstacle that I put in my own way. And I didn't know if I could do it, but hey, you're never going to know if you don't give it a go. And I was too afraid to give it a go. So I got to a point where I felt like if I don't give it a go, on some level, I'm gonna die. Not physically, but spiritually. I really felt like if I don't push myself, at least to give it a go, I'm just gonna regret it for the rest of my life. And so what will happen if this changes? Oh, well, that's the scary part. I think the scary part for me was taking responsibility. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to take responsibility. If I think I can do it, then I'm going to have to step up and do it, and then I might have to take some kind of responsibility. And I think that was terrifying. And I think the two scariest things in life is change and taking responsibility. And I can definitely put my hand up to that. Now, I know that's not everyone's challenge. It certainly was mine, because I didn't want to take responsibility. Because what if I failed? What if I got it wrong? What if I hurt someone? What if? So it's a story of what if, isn't it? But I realized a lot of that thinking that I had early on left me feeling very disempowered. And now I don't feel that way. I feel super empowered. I feel confident. I feel reassured. I feel safe. I feel secure, because I know I can do me. I can't, I've let go of trying to control anybody else, trying to make anyone do anything that they don't want to do. I can support them and point them in the direction, but I can't do it for them. And I think surrendering to that was freedom, because I think as a therapist, you want to help, but really you have no control or power over anyone. Not power as in that, because I think when you're in a room with someone, you do have an element of power because they're very vulnerable. So what you do is important, and trying to get them somewhere that you want to be is not kind of the process of healing. It doesn't matter what I want, it's what they want that matters. So this is always about them. What do they want? And helping them become empowered. And that's about helping them take responsibility for the things they can control and actually letting go of the things they can't. And that is very scary for people, because they've lived their whole lives trying to control the uncontrollable. And so when you, and So when people come to see me, I'm very much like, okay, come back to you, because actually you trying to make them, or wanting them to be different is the impossible, is the uncontrollable, and trying to do the uncontrollable will get you every time. And so this is the way we give our power away. Oh, well, if that person just wasn't this, if that person wasn't that, if this person didn't do that, if that person didn't do that, and that's you giving your power away. So maybe we're aware, oh, look, this is what I'm doing, and don't judge yourself or berate yourself. Just go, oh, okay, be curious. Is that working for you? And let's come back. Because we've all got a story about ourselves, right? And I certainly did when I was younger, and a very disempowered, belittling story of I can't do this because it's all too hard and I don't like hard. And we are so addicted to feeling comfortable. And I think that's the problem. We are super addicted to feeling comfortable, and anything that disturbs us, now you don't like. But actually it's in those disturbances that kind of wake us up to something bigger, something more. And yeah, so be curious. So stop giving your power away. Recognize when you are giving your power away. You know, and recognize that when you are kind of looking at someone, judging them, deeming them wrong or bad, how that drains you. It doesn't actually make you fill you with energy and fill you with, you know, positivity and enthusiasm. It probably just makes you feel a bit yuck, because you actually can't do anything about anyone outside of you. Oh my God, wouldn't it be good if you could, you know? But you can't. And I think surrendering to that, because that's a denial, I think, that we're in denial of, that we can influence. And yes, you can, to a certain degree, influence people. You can, yes, manipulate people. You know, you can do a lot of that. But if you're coming back to you and holding yourself accountable, taking full responsibility of everything that happens over here, you know, in regard to what you watch, what you see, what you eat, who you spend time with, who you let in, who you pamper to, who you enable, who you judge, who you look down on, you know, come back to you. You're the center point. You're the center of everything. Everything happens because of this. And the way you see the world is all about you and how you are within you. And I often tell people, you're living with the enemy, and nothing good comes of that. I lived with the enemy for many years, and believe me, it was not fun. That was not fun, to live with the enemy. Now I live with my best friend. Now I live with a good mentor, someone who's loving, kind, not mollycoddling, but generous of spirit and open, curious. I wonder, what's that about? I do apologise about the noise. It will stop, hopefully. What's that about? You know, be curious, be open. Come back to you, because this is where the power is. It's in you. Stop playing blame games. Start coming into your heart space. Don't let this run the show. Tame the wild beast that is the mind. Manage the emotions. Come back to the heart space. Be good to yourself. Be kind. Be loving. But not mollycoddling, you know, feeling sorry for yourself. That doesn't help anyone. So stop giving your power away. Take back that power. Take back the power. And I'm living embodiment of what it's like to be powerless and blame games and feeling empowered, you know? And it's all down to me at the end of the day. And I know that sounds like a big call, but you know what? It just is what it is. Anyway, have I got anything to say about taking back your power? Don't let those buggers take your power. Don't let these people get you down. My favourite saying is, don't let the bastards get you down, because we do. Oh, and we look out at the world. You know, sometimes I think there's a lot going on. Look what's happened over in the Gaza and all the people that are struggling. And Isn't it fantastic? If you feel called to go and do something about that, then do it. I think there's a calling over some of us to go do stuff. We feel led, we feel compelled, do it. But if you don't feel guilty because you don't. You know, maybe you're just trying to, you know, clean the house and look after your kids, or go to work and pay the bills, and that's enough. You don't have to do anything you don't feel led to just do. And so make peace with where you're at, make peace with your desires, and maybe your desire is to stay home and look after the kids, or, you know, make your bed and clean your house and just live a quiet life. You know, maybe that's what, and that's okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that sounds wonderful. Stop watching things that make you feel crap, watching the news, watching doom scrolling on your phone. Get out in nature, go for walks, eat good food, exercise, spend time with people that you enjoy, that build you up, don't tear you down. Yeah. And that's all kind of, we know that, don't we? I don't want to tell anyone to suck eggs. We know all that, don't we? For me, I know it's very important to actually do that everyday stuff, be a good parent to myself, and eat right, sleep right, exercise, and I feel good, spend time with friends, chat, you know, to people that I love and care about on the phone or in person, go and have a coffee, spend some quality time. That's my love language, so quality time. And then you're doing your best you can. That's all you can do. And I think sometimes stop giving yourself a hard time, because you're always telling yourself, oh, I should do this, I should do that, I should do this. Stop shoulding all over yourself. Do the best you can. That's all you can do. And keep reminding yourself, I'm doing the best I can. And that's all I can do. And your best is good enough. And be kind, be gentle, be patient with yourself. You're so impatient, you know? And we're all learning different things. The doers have to learn to be, the beers have to learn to do sometimes, and finding that kind of balance point of not doing too much, not pushing yourself too hard, knowing yourself, understanding yourself, knowing when you're tired and you need to rest, knowing when you're hungry, knowing when you need to get up and go to the loo. That's about you knowing yourself, and this is a journey of knowing you, knowing your heart, mind, body, soul. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know where you're losing power, maybe you're gaining power, maybe you've come far, maybe you've done a lot of work, and maybe you could share that in some way. But anyway, do whatever you feel led to do. All for now. See you next time. Bye.